Good evening, everybody. I'm Maury Aronson. I am the Executive Director of Global Arts Live, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a real special broadcast direct from South Africa, live from Derek Ripper's living room, or a room in his house, which is in Cape Town, South Africa, 2 a.m. South African time. And really shout out to Derek for staying awake for so long. We really look forward to his performance tonight. Special thanks to the Abudi Consulting Group for supporting this live stream. All donations made during tonight's live stream will be shared between Derek Ripper and Global Arts Live. You'll be supporting an incredible artist, and you will be helping Global Arts Live, keeping ourselves alive during this COVID times, and you can donate at globalartslive.org/Derek Ripper. Our next virtual event will be our first experiment with a pre-recorded concert featuring Makumba in Zimbabwe. And the reason why it's not live is that the web and the electricity in Zimbabwe is a little shaky, so we decided to do a pre-recording, and that'll stream on July 7th, 8 p.m. on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Thanks for joining us, and let me bring Derek into the stream.
Hey, Maury.
Hi, Derek. How are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling saucy. It's 2 a.m.
Well, you know, that's just when Cape Town wakes up. So, or it hasn't gone to bed yet. Or maybe in the winter months it has, or if you're over 40, it has.
I think all of those things apply right now.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, Derek. Can you tell us how is Cape Town dealing with the pandemic?
Yeah, we had a very strong lockdown. You know, look, we really took it seriously. We weren't allowed to leave the house for, I think it was 5 weeks. There was no exercising, nothing. You definitely couldn't leave the area. You know, if you wanted to go shopping. So it was a really interesting time, you know, being really in the house. You weren't allowed to walk a dog or go for a walk, nothing. Then we had about 3 weeks of morning walking between 6 and 9. We were allowed to exercise in our area. An hour and a half of that was dark still. So they lost a lot of people's vote around that time. People started to get a bit edgy. And now it's like kind of game on, you know. I think they've said, you know, we did a great job, but it's up to you now. You know, wear a mask, look after yourself, and so it's kind of shifted. We've been through all the stages. I think so far they've done a really good job, mostly.
Well, I did listen to, I think it was President Ramaphosa's first talk, and I thought it was an amazing talk when he addressed the nation. I thought it was really just a great way to communicate the dangers of COVID. And well, good to know that you're healthy, and we're really looking forward to this. So why don't you just take it away from your living room to the living rooms in all over the world. And please, if you comment we love your comments on the broadcast, and please let us know where you're listening from. We'd love to know if anybody's listening from South Africa or elsewhere.
Well, before you go, I'm very pleased you're doing Makumba. They're one of my favorite bands. You know, I have so many memories of seeing them. I saw them first in Haifa, the Harare International Festival of Arts, the most incredible show ever. I've seen them in London. I think I've seen them in the US a few times. And I did a live stream festival, which they were on a few weeks ago, which was the Bushfire Festival in Swaziland. And they're incredible. So that's going to be
great.
Amazing.
I mean, we've had them in Boston, I think 2 or 3 times, and they are a fantastic band.
Yeah, and they just get better every time I see them. They just everyone just gets better, and it's amazing.
All right, everybody, don't miss that broadcast. But before that, yes, Derek.
just joining, this is a song by the great Salif Keita. And I had the good fortune to record this in Boston, actually, with a wonderful cellist, Mike Block, who's a local. It's called Full On. There you are, that's full on. Thanks all for joining. Thank you for your comments. These are from those first few songs were from a new record of mine called A Year of Swimming. And it was, now I think about it, a strange year that we were allowed to go actually swimming. And it was all about cold water swimming and starting in the Atlantic of Cape Town and ending up in a creek in the winter in Toronto, or outside Toronto, in a glacial lake in the mountains of Slovenia. So it's all the music I made during that time. So it's called A Year of Swimming, and the music is mixed between my own compositions and compositions inspired by great singers from the African continent. This one that I'm going to play now is by a singer called Fanta Sako. She's from Bamako, Mali. Hey! And Fanta is one of the greats of Malian music. She recorded the first recording for an anthology of records made by the Malian government in the 1970s, and her nephew became very important for the kora, the 21-string harp. His name was Tumani Diabate, and he was very important for me discovering this music and finding ways to play it on the guitar. Good evening, William. start my April tour in Rhode Island for the guitar festival. Part of the song is actually comes like Makumba from Zimbabwe. It started off as an arrangement of a song by a wonderful singer called Chiwaniso, and the guitar part I'm playing comes from the Mbira part. Reminds me of a glass of wine. I think it was Douglas, right? Yeah, we weren't allowed to drink for the first 5 weeks of lockdown. That was an interesting spin. So we had like a prohibition for more than 5 weeks, I think. Ah, Stellenbosch. No way. You mean the very, very last one? That's amazing. I came back from a tour in Australia and I played one last concert on a Sunday night in Stellenbosch, which is famous for the famous wine region just outside of Cape Town. Ah, hello, Eric. Good. All children should be kept up as late as possible. And that Sunday night concert in Stellenbosch turned out to be my last live concert. We actually we had the first live concert. We like to think of it as the first live concert in South Africa last night. I played a concert in a church to 20 people separated by 3 meters each. Very nice to be in a room with a whole lot of people, even if I did have to play in a mask. There you are. Hey, Todd. Ah. Tanya. So this next piece has been on a long journey. It's based on an old form of church music from South Africa called the koortjie, which is like a trance music based on church hymns. Koortjie. A koor is a chorus, and a koortjie is a small chorus. And it started off as a koortjie for whales that had beached themselves near where I lived at the time. This is going on 10 years ago, and then it morphed into a koortjie for lost leaders and a koortjie for the crisis in leadership. For a while, it was that. It started to become about presidents and leaders around the world. But with developments over the last little while, I've decided to just make it about whales again. Because what can you do, right? Mike! Ah, yeah! I miss you too. Sad times when you can't get together with your friends and play music. There you are. You perform with your daughter. Ah, thank you, Vicky. I love that you know Folon. Play you a piece by the great Alifar Couture, one of my favorite guitarists, one of the greatest guitarists. And I've been playing this piece of Ali's for many years, and lately I've been meeting every day since lockdown with a group of guitarists all over the world, people who are concert classical guitarists, people who are just beginning, all sorts of ranges of guitarists, and we've been playing songs of Alifar Couture, songs of Toumani Diabate, all sorts, and we've been doing this every day, and it's been one of the things that's really kept me sane and kept me remembering what it is to be a musician and what it is to share music, and it's quite remarkable, that we can do this, through the internet. One of the pieces we've been playing a lot together. So I'll play you one more song from A Year of Swimming, this newish record of mine. And this one is by another great West African musician. Well, it's actually an old song, and it was reinvented by two amazing musicians. The one, a blind griot guitarist called Mansour Seck, and his friend who wasn't a griot and who was initiated into the art of the griot by Mansour, and he had an incredible voice, was the son of a fisherman, so he shouldn't have been a musician even, and became one of the greats of West Africa, Baba Mal. And they recorded this classic of the griot repertoire on an album of theirs called Jam Lili. So I play it by trying to replicate the two guitar parts and the vocal part. You can hear these beautiful solo lines that Mansour played, and the accompaniment that Baba's playing on guitar, and sometimes hopefully the voice, but maybe not quite his voice, because that's a voice. So they renamed this song Lam Turo. I'm in Cape Town. We're heading into the winter. It's 2:30 in the morning. Salvador here is sleeping on the floor. He's not even in listening. And I'm going to be getting out of Cape Town early tomorrow morning, which I'm very excited about. We have this kind of ambiguous lifting of lockdown, where we're not entirely sure what we're allowed to do. Hey, Daniel. But it seems you can now leave the city, so we're taking advantage of that, and we're going to go up into the mountains for a little bit. So after months in these walls, many live streams and lots of group classes and lots of screen, and to unplug a little bit. Here it comes. Here comes Mansour. That was Lam Turo, originally performed by Baba Mal and Mansour Seck from Senegal. So I'm going to play one more piece. This is the piece that got me into all this trouble in the first place. I was heading off to Sweden, of all places, in about 2001, and a friend of mine gave me a going away present. It was a CD by a guy called Tumani Diabate, whose music I'd never heard before, playing an instrument called the kora, which I'd never heard of before, and I was blown away. I felt like I was listening to the Bach of Africa, or the Keith Jarrett of string instruments. It was really a remarkable thing to hear, and this is the piece I heard, and I'm still playing it many years later. It took me a while. Hi, Chris. It took me a while to be able to play it and not just to listen in awe. But it's been a great fun to do so. So thanks, Murray, for having me. Thanks to Global Arts. I hope we get to do a live concert again someday. I hope Donald lets me in again. We'll see. Whew. What else was I going to say? Yeah, Murray and I actually come from South Africa. We come from the same place, and the day I first met him was just before I was about to play a concert in Somerville at I think it was the Rockville Arts Theatre, but I could be wrong. He can correct me. And I didn't know that Murray was South African because he writes on the internet with a very non-South African accent. But the minute I heard him and he said, "Oh, you can come in and find the dressing room," I was like, "Hey, hold on a second. Hey, Mike, you're South African?" And he said, "Yeah." And we started talking, and within about 5 or 10 minutes, I think we'd gone for dinner by then, I somehow mentioned just one little detail about my mother, probably her age when she had me. And Murray said, "Did she used to drive a motorbike?" And somehow he'd put two and two together, and it turned out that he'd known my mother probably when I was a little young, like one or something. And anyway, we worked out it was her because he said she drove a motorbike like a complete I can't remember the word, but anyway, she was scary on the road. She always was, and he remembered that, and that was pretty amazing. My mother doesn't remember Murray, but as I said to him, he mustn't take that personally because she doesn't remember much. So here's Jarabi, and thank you for listening. And you can hear a year of swimming. Website, which is DerrickRipper.com, or on a streaming platform of your choice. that was Jarabi. Yeah, and I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. Salvador, what do you think? He's completely just lying there. He's not even interested. It's terrible. There's
Hey,
no
Derek,
appreciation for the
thanks.
arts in South Africa at the moment.
Is that a dog or a cat?
It's a dog, yeah. No. We don't cohabit with cats. It's a dog.
All right. Well, my dog is sleeping as well, so they have the same appreciation for the music.
Yeah, they're
Thanks
living the
for
good
just
life.
all right. Thanks for a truly wonderful set. It was just absolutely spectacular. I do want to share with you that this live stream has been the most watched live streams of all of our live streams to date.
Wow,
So
that's amazing. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
I'm super touched. You're going to hype me up now, and I'm not going to get to sleep.
that's really wonderful. So I've heard, don't ask me how, because maybe I wasn't meant to, but I've heard the cut that you and Mike recorded in Boston.
Yeah, you're allowed to hear that.
Okay, well, that is what I want the next presentation of you to be in Boston. That is the most
Mike, you hear
remarkable tunes. Mike, if you're listening, I hope that you are amenable to joining Derek in Boston for when we are able to go live again, because it's a fantastic cut, what I heard. Just remarkable cut.
Yeah, I think if everyone who's listening, if you could do me a favor and just like somehow look after America, because I really like America. It's a really beautiful place. People are amazing. I love playing music, the appreciation for music there. So just like don't fuck it up, guys, because we'd like to visit again. Briefly, we won't stay, I promise.
I also am, what's great is that so many of the artists that you played tonight, Salif Keita, Ali Farka Toure, Baba Mal, Tumani Jibati, we've presented these musicians in Boston many times over the years. So it's really nice to see, your interpretations of their tunes. Even though your mother doesn't remember me, please send my regards.
I will do.
And folks, we've raised over $1,200. It would be wonderful if we can get over 1,500 before the donation line closes. So please, once again, go to globalartslive.org/Derek Gripper. And Derek, can I ask you to do one more tune before we say good night to you?
Of course, absolutely.
Or rather, good morning to you and good night to our audience.
Good morning. This is for Narinder, who's watching from the UK. What are you doing up so late, Narinder? I hope you're practicing. have a beautiful evening. See you soon.
Thanks, Derek. Really
Thanks, Murray.
wonderful.
Cool.
See you in live and in the flesh, hopefully in the not too distant future in Boston. Folks,
Sounds like fun.
please go to globalotlive.org/Derek Gripper. Make your donations. Donation line will be open for the next half an hour. And remember to join us for Macumba, July 7th, 8 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us from really Senegal, London, San Francisco, all over Massachusetts, and all over the world. Good night, and we'll see you on July 7th.